This is Bruce Boudreau, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Van City Experts. I am Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, January the 4th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. I took your feedback. Someone said it in the stream yesterday. Someone also left it as a comment. So I changed the windscreen on my new microphone. So it's supposed to help with the what's called the plosive. So I'm going to test it. Peter Piper picked. I'm just going to see what it sounds like. Peter Piper picked a peck. Here it comes. Okay, it's a little bit better. Anyways, I'll continue to work on that. So thank you for the feedback. Thank you for being here. You see that I've actually called this video, The Canadian Juniors Are Good, Jacob is Good, and the Canucks Aren't. And I'm going to talk about all three elements in today's stream. So, moderators, thank you in advance. Thank you, Justin. He's saying sounded great. Thank you, Elfren, saying like the new microphone. That is awesome too. So moderators, thank you in advance. We'll see how busy you are tonight. Members, legends, Hall of Fame franchise members, thanks to all of you and everyone watching, no matter where you're watching from, whether you're my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, province, country, continent, or around the world. Thank you for being here. I do not take you for granted. I know that you could, that's what I was going to say. I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for school, getting ready for work, getting ready for bed. But the fact that you're here with me means a lot. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. That way it gets you active in the chat section. Like the video. There's 40 of you in here already, which is awesome. Make sure that you like the video as well. You can leave donations and get that donation train out of the station. You can gift memberships, which is the same as a $5 donation. You can become a member, you can upgrade your membership, or most importantly, you can simply be interacting with each other in the chat for sure. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And don't forget, I'll go for the first half of the show, and then I'll turn it over to you for the second half of the show. There's no Canucks game. There was a Canucks practice. So, let's go in reverse order. Let's talk about the Canucks. Then we'll talk about the World Juniors, and then we'll talk about Jacob. How's that? And thank you, Justin. Love the title. Yeah. And I can't wait to talk about what Jacob's been doing out in Montreal. Harry, you got a haircut for Clay's meetup. That's even more than I've done for my meetup. That is awesome, Harry. Can't wait to see you there. Let's talk about the Canucks first. And we know that they had a very disappointing 6-2 loss to the Islanders yesterday. I already talked about it in last night's live stream. I'm not going to regurgitate it today, but a couple of interesting things. Last night in his post-game comments, Boudreau, it was really interesting, by the way, because some of you had heard it already by the time my show started last night, but it wasn't through the Canucks Twitter account because they actually never post Boudreau's post-game from yesterday. So those of you that actually heard Boudreau's comments, how did you hear about them? I heard about them. I had to listen to Rink Wide podcast, Andrew Wadden and Jeff Patterson, to hear it. So how did you guys hear Boudreau's comments from last night? I'd love to know how you guys got to it. So I ended up hearing it, and Boudreau seemed to point the finger at his players, says, I can't block shots. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then it's interesting today, when he talked to the media, he kind of walked it back a little bit. I don't know if someone talked to him or maybe he simply reflected on it. I'm sure he was speaking out of emotion and frustration last night. And then today he said, if the players aren't doing what I asked them to, then that's my fault. That's my job. And he took way more accountability. You heard it from Twitter and Reddit. Okay, thank you. The province. Very good, you guys. Thanks for that. So Jasper says it was the province, YouTube, and Rahib says, I heard it on Twitter and Reddit. Good. Thank you. So then today, Boudreau did take a lot more accountability for sure. think everyone is taking accountability because they had a big meeting today. I think it was simply to say, if we're going to make a run, try and make the playoffs this season, things have to change right now. And I'm pretty sure that was the kind of the tone of the meeting earlier today. So I'm going to show you the lines that the Canucks went with that practice. A very, very small change, but it was a change nonetheless. And by the way, I want to see if I can swap these. I don't think I can. Once if I do this? Oh, no. Once if I do this? Once if I do this? No. Once if I do this? Once if I do this? Oh, no, then it's gone. No, then that's too small. Okay, we better go with that then. Although I don't like how I lose the Van City Experts, but I'll make sure it's not on here for too long. So the Horvat, Besser, Mikheyev line stayed together. Right? That was the line from before. Yes. And then they split up Peterson, Kuzmenko. They actually put JT Miller there instead. And now Peterson is the extra forward. Then you have Sheldon Dries in the middle now with Lockwood and Garland. And then Stunica, Lazar, and Joshua as your fourth line. Rio Niels Oman is in Abbotsford. So I guess the biggest change here is, well, they kept Horvat, Mikheyev, Besser together. Then they put Miller up. So now you really have a top six and then a bottom six. There's a big difference there. So tell me what you think of this. Maybe it's a way to get Miller going by playing with Petey and Kuzmenko. We'll see how that works. And then the same 8 defensemen, Hughes, Bear, Oyel, Myers, Dermott, Shen, and Stillman and Burrows. One thing I will say, I wasn't hard on Bear last night. He had a horrible, there's no way around it. He had a horrible giveaway on the fourth Islanders goal, but I didn't know that he had such a good game. I don't know how he had such a good game, that he had such a good game analytically. So that was one thing that I did not really see, or that I did not really know. And I guess that's the whole thing, right? With analytics is it's supposed to help you see that things that you can't see with the naked eye or the eye test, so to speak. So that's really the only Canucks news I wanted to talk about today. The fact that they had a meeting today, not players only, because coaches were in there as well. I'm sure it's make it or break it time. It's got to be. And I think they have to win like 30 of the next 45 to make it to the 95-point mark. And then you look, the Canucks are closer to the bottom of the standings than they are to a wild card spot. So here they are in 25th. And they're tied with Philly. So they're dangerously close to falling to the bottom 5. Or maybe that's a good thing if you want them to have. And we keep talking about it's Connor Bedard, but there's 4 or 5 players at the top of this draft that are really, really good consolation prizes. And then if you want to look at from wild card perspective, huge game tomorrow with wild card implications, because Colorado's at 41, Vancouver's at 35. Colorado has a game in hand, but this is a way to at least, you want the Canucks, if you want them to make playoffs, you want them to stay with this pack of Calgary, Edmonton, Colorado, St. Louis, Nashville, and not be with this pack of Arizona, San Jose, Anaheim, and Chicago. So I will be, I just realized that I'd be showing you the screen, and I've been clicking around as if I was showing you the screen, and I never was. So really quickly, this is what I meant to say and meant to share. That was a little embarrassing. Here the Canucks are 25th, very close to the bottom of the standings. But then when you go to the wild card position, I was saying you want them to be closer to this group of teams, Calgary, Edmonton, Colorado, St. Louis, Nashville, and not fall to Arizona, San Jose, Anaheim, and Chicago. So big game, Vancouver, Colorado, 2 teams that right now are on the outside looking in. I was going to go in my seats for section 319, me and my season ticket partner Mike in the upper bowl, and then the Canucks upgraded us tomorrow to a 500 level suite. So that's pretty cool. So I was able then to sell my 319. So Mike and I will be at the game, and we'll be in a suite somewhere, which I'm very excited about. So that is where the Canucks are right now. Second thing I want to talk about really quickly is the big win by the World Juniors, by the Canadian junior team. They went down early 2-0 to the United States, but then dominated the game, helped by 2 goaltender interference calls. The first one, I admit, was a little sketch, even though obviously I'm a big Canada fan because I'm from Canada and I'm Canadian. The second one, I don't think you can argue too much with. The guy basically poked the puck from underneath our goalie. But, even if you give them both of those, the Canucks still wins. Canada still wins 6-4. And yes, Connor Bedard has scored a goal again. Where is he? There he is. 1 goal and 1 assist. But the actually story of the game was Joshua Waugh. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, +3 in only 14 minutes of ice time. So a really, really good game by him. A good game by the whole team. And now they play in the final against Czechia, the only team that beat them in the round robin. And they beat them quite easily, actually, 5-2. You guys might remember it was the very first game of the tournament. So that game happens at 3:30 our time tomorrow. So perfect. You can watch that from 3:30 to 6 or 6:30, and then you can watch Vancouver and Colorado. So let me know some thoughts if you want to. In a second, not yet. Well, you can always leave comments, but just know that I'm not going to get to them until the second part of my show. But you guys know how much I love it when you talk to each other inside of the chat. So I mentioned that this game is at 3:30 our time, which is cool. Then the Canucks game is at 7 o'clock our time, which is fine. But then around 3:30, as this game is going on, I'm going to be checking in to make sure, speaking of Team Canada, that my son Jacob indeed makes Team Canada. So forgive me, I'm going to talk about bowling for the next 3 or 4 minutes. And yes, you might be here for Canucks talk or for hockey talk, but you guys know that I am trying to build community for sure. And I'm very proud of this community. And part of the community is caring about what we care about. And in particular, this is my channel. So I guess you're forced to listen or watch what I care about. And what I care about right now is Jacob, my son Jacob, in Montreal, trying to make Team Canada. So last year, as you know, he's one of the top 4 juniors, and then he got to go to Sweden. I got to go to Sweden, and that was back in June. So right now he's in Montreal, and they've played 12 games so far. And here is the youth standings for men. And Jacob is up at number 1. That's an average of 215, a score of 215 per game. So he's ahead by 63 of second place, third place, fourth place. And then remember, it's the top 4 juniors. So then he's 115 pins ahead of number 5. Now you might say, well, Clay, that's not that much. 115 pins. All it takes for this number 5 guy to have a big game, Jacob to have a bad game. But it's kind of like the Canucks in the wild card position. It's not only hard to move up in terms of pins, but it's also hard to move up in that you got to pass other guys as well. So for Jacob not to make the team, and I don't believe in jinxes because Jacob's feeling really good about his game, he would have to get passed by 4 people tomorrow. I simply don't think that's going to happen, especially when you look at, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think he's playing very well. And Jacob, Nicholas, and Matisse, 1, 2, 3, those guys were actually the 3 that made it to Sweden last year, along with Adam, number 6, who's not that far off as well. So 4 of the top 6 are the guys that went to Sweden back in June. The other cool thing is, when you look at, now this is all standings, all men, not just the juniors, which is 21 and younger. Jacob is number 8. He's sitting in number 8, and the top 12 of the all ages make the next round. So remember, top 4 juniors make Team Canada, and then the top 12 make the playoffs for the men. And it's cool. Like this Frankie Lavoie, he's a professional bowler, and that's why he's beating everyone by 150 pins. Mitch Hoope is a professional bowler. Jordan Jung is my cousin. He's the one that owns JR Pro Shop. And look at Jake. He's fighting with these guys. He actually got as high as number 2 for a part of the day, but he's settling in at number 8. And tomorrow they have another 12 games to go. So I'm excited for Jake's chances. Obviously, he's in the best spot right now. And as long as he bowls well tomorrow, he should make it onto Team Canada. Finally, if you look at his 12 games, started off with a 190, a 210, then a perfect game, a 300. That was his 4th perfect game of his life. And then 226, and then followed it up with a 290. So 2 games after he had his perfect game, he had a 290, which means a spare in the first frame, and then strike all the way through the rest of the game. So he could have had another perfect game there, 194. So his morning block, he ends up with 235 average for a total 1410. Then the second block was a little bit harder, a harder pattern. All the scores were lower, but 227, 167, 192, 230. Then here's his only one bad game of the day, 143. And that happened to be the game that was on the live stream. So whatever. And then he ends off strong with a 214, averages 195 for the second block, average 215 overall for the day, and that makes a total of 2583. Last thing I will show you, and then I'll get to you. I want to show you how he got his perfect game. So I want to make sure that actually I don't think I shared audio. So let me share this one more time. And this is Jacob getting his fourth perfect game of. So obviously a perfect game is hard to achieve, but to do it amidst all the best bowlers in Canada where the pressure is quite big, very proud of him, obviously. So I'll be tweeting likely more about Jacob in the first half of the day and then switching to Canucks tweets for the second half of the day. So thank you for allowing me those 3 or 4 minutes to brag about my son, who obviously I'm very proud of. I'm proud of Sean and all his accomplishments, how well he's doing in all facets of life. And I'm obviously proud of Kayla as well. And I was so grateful that she came on the stream here on Sunday night. All right, let's go. My mid-show sponsor read. I'm going to try. This worked yesterday, so I'm going to do it again. Start typing up your comments, but do not press. And I guess it's basically the same thing. But I will read the comments that come in after I'm finished my mid-show sponsor read. And you can ask me anything, talk about anything, about Canucks, about Team Canada Juniors, or Jacob at the national, what they call team trials for bowling. Shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. There he is. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial. Use the link in scrolling across the bottom of the screen, performandtransform.ca/CanuckClay. My coach Patrick, will contact you. And I had actually someone ask me about that today. So hopefully that person, if they're watching, hopefully you do indeed sign up. That would be awesome. Also, shout out to Monkey Nine Brewing, my eternal sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork, and Vessi Footwear. Use the discount code CanuckClay at checkout at Vessi.com and receive $15 off any pair of Vessi shoes that you buy. Don't forget Monkey Nine Brewing, the home of my meetup this Sunday at 10 p.m. Why do I keep saying that? This Sunday at 12 p.m. noon, Canucks and Jets. Be so much better. The Canucks win tomorrow night because I think more people will come on Sunday, although I think a lot of people are planning to come. And then I have a full 2.5 days to promote it after tomorrow night's game. And hopefully it's after a Canucks win. And I'll be doing not only watch party, we're going to give away some prizes, have a lot of good food and drink. Don't drink too much. Well, you do whatever you want as long as you're safe and responsible because it's afternoon game. And then I'm going to actually attempt to do my game over show from there as well. My mid-show reminder to subscribe, to like this video, to leave a donation like Lucas just did. Lucas, thank you. Choo choo. Gets the train out of the station. I ordered 2 reverse retros that are not Canucks related. That's impressive. That's impressive, but I know you're a Jersey buff, Lucas. I'm a Jersey fanatic. There you go. And yes, I'm waiting for my Canucks reverse retro. Nice. Thank you, Lucas, for being here, and thank you for the donation. Subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, donate a membership, and or start leaving questions and comments for me now. And again, if you're listening on podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Justin, you and the family. Actually, let me back up a bit right here. We all love Jacob and are proud of him as well. Thank you, Taylor. Dylan, keep us up to date on how Jacob does. I will, for sure. Let's talk about teeing for Bedard. I'm of the mind, more Japan 4, that it might make sense whether you do that intentionally, unintentionally, or strategically, not playing Demko so early, making a lot of big, bold trades. I can see why people might be all over that. Justin, you and the family must be so proud of Jacob. Have you talked to him today? I did talk to him. I talked to him at 5 p.m. today, 8 o'clock his time. Remember, there's a 3-hour time difference. He's in Montreal. So I got up at 4:30 to watch him on the live stream this morning. I'm a little tired, but it's certainly worth it. And I did speak to him, and I just encouraged him, told him I loved him no matter what happened. But he's in a really good spot right now. What would your honest reaction be if I became a Power Ranger? I would say, get me out of this suit. I do not want to be a Power Ranger. Who's winning tomorrow? Oh, Vancouver, 4-2. I know it sounds so silly when I say that because they haven't won 4-2 all season, but I will always cheer for Vancouver to win. Clay, do you have any insight on the seats in section 107 beside the penalty box in the Rogers Arena? Is it a good experience? I'm going tomorrow. I'm super stoked. Thank you, Clay and Mods. Yeah, no problem, Rahib. I've had seats. I've sat in section 108 quite extensively. It really depends on how low you are. If you're in row 1 or 2, it's kind of cool. Row 1, especially because you're banging against the glass. But then if you're row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's actually hard to look down to the other side of the arena to see what's happening along the boards. You kind of gotta look at the screen once in a while. And then I think when you're from row 8, like my seat's 8 and above, then you can see enough by looking over. So the fact that you're 107 behind the penalty box, near the penalty box, it depends really what row you're in, but really, I think you're gonna have a really good time in those seats. I'm great, Harry. Thank you. If I were GM of the Canucks, which player would you like to draft in this year's draft? Not a Clean Bedard, but the other players that are eligible. You know, that Russian kid, because of what's the word I was looking for? Not insecurity. Oh my gosh, I drew a blank. Uncertainty. That's the word. That's not a hard word either. The uncertainty around his future. I would look at Fantilli. I would. In terms of Boudreau, I don't blame him for being so frustrated, not just at the players, but I mean, anytime when Rutherford constantly throws him under the bus, well, they're the ones who extended JT. Yeah, it's not pretty. That's for sure. How confident are you, Fangirl? To be honest with you, I'm not very confident that they can beat Colorado. And because of the strong draft class this year, I won't be as upset if they end up losing. But sitting there at the arena, of course, I'm going to cheer for them to win. Jaskrin, it wasn't Martin's fault. He didn't have the best game ever, but certainly wasn't his fault. It was the defense. And oftentimes we say defense is a team game. It's not just the two guys playing defense. But last night, for many of the goals, it was the two guys playing defense. Myers and in particular had a really tough game. Hey, Adam, nice to see you. Oh, that's awesome. You're doing sound at the Abbey Canucks game. Awesome. I hope it's been going well. Professional bowling, yes, it is 10-pin, Man Ray. Smaller ball, 5-pin. It's kind of weird. Forgive my... No, it's not ignorance at all. We're all learning together. It is indeed 10-pin. And I'm going to jump down and come back because I see a massive donation. Elfren, $30 donation. This is like a big donation train. Choo, 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 choo. That's it, kind of going in the distance. So proud of Jacob on achieving another perfect bowling game. Let's go for 5 from a two-hander to another. From a two-hander to another. It's twice the challenge to play a perfect game. Well, then you should double your donation. I'm just kidding, Elfren. Let's give Elfren some love for that very, very generous donation. Thank you, Elfren. And I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Size 42, authentic Canucks jersey from the store. Know anyone that wants it? It's like a size small. Ooh, well, I could probably wear it around one leg. Ricky's at the game tomorrow, but probably won't see you since you're in a suite. However, I'll be coming by. That's sweet. So, Ricky, you're coming on Sunday. Can't wait to see you, man. You will not be disappointed. Another donation from legendary Lucas Gates. Choo choo. I can announce I'll be the proud owner of a Habs reverse retro, nice, and a Jets reverse retro in a week. Habs are my second team due to family. So 1 Montreal, 1 Winnipeg. Can't really go wrong there. Nicely done. Nicely done. What do you think of Chief Canada Junior? I think Team Canada Junior Day. Proud of them for coming back from a 2-0 deficit, take over the game. Yeah, I'm excited for them too. I always want Canada to win. And facing the only team that beat them, it's going to be an exciting game tomorrow for sure. Imagine if Lucas got a Leafs, Habs, or Hawks jersey. He got the Habs, so you got 1 for 3. Yes, I think Jacob has got this. Honestly, by the way, Peter, I had a nice chat with John today, and I told him that I met you, which is cool. Honestly, going for a top 5 pick is the ideal path for this team. It's the right path. Imagine what Connor Bedard, a generational franchise player, would do for this market. Yeah, not only because he's so good, but he's going to sell so many jerseys because he's from here. We won't get Bedard, Clay. Hawks are too bad not to get him. We can't tee with how the Hawks have done, and plus our luck is bad. Yeah, you can't use bad luck as the reason though, but you have to be realistic with odds as well. How many more games does he have, and what's the cutoff to make it? So Justin, thank you for asking. In general, so they play 12 games, right? Blocks of 6, then 6. So they have a third block of 6 tomorrow morning, and then they cut down from 96 men down to 48. 96 to 48. So if for some reason only 4 juniors were in the top 48, boom, the 4 juniors are set, but then they play down from 48 to 12. So they play another 6 games and they play 48 to 12. But what happened last year is crazy, is after the 18 games, 7 juniors were in the top 50%, and Jacob was only at number 7. So if they had cut it off after 18 games, Jacob would not have made Team Canada because he was in 7th. But then because they got another 6 games, he moved up from 7th to 6th to 5th to 4th. So he came up really clutch last year. And looking at the standings, I think it's going to be the exact same thing. I think by the time the cut's done, there'll be at least 8 or 9 juniors in the top 48. And then after the next 6 games, then they'll go down to the final 12. And for sure, there's no way there's going to be more than 4 juniors in the top 12. So what we're looking at, in essence, is 12 more games until we know for sure if Jake makes it. I hope that made sense. Which Canucks jersey will I be wearing my meetup on Sunday? Maybe I'm not even going to wear a jersey. No, I'll be likely, depending on how warm it is in there, I'll likely wear either a Canucks t-shirt or probably my newest jersey, which actually doesn't have a name on it. But we'll see. We will see. That's the one that the Canucks gave me for doing the Pepsi photo shoot. But yeah, likely that one. It's funny. Out of all my jerseys, oh no, I do have a couple of road jerseys, but it's like David Booth. I'm not sure if I'm going to wear a David Booth jersey to my own meetup on Sunday. Do they get mad if you bang on the glass? Nope. Jasker and a bunch of teams about the Canucks are teeing, so how can't the Canucks tee? I don't know if teams above the Canucks are trying to do it. You're welcome, Rahib. Have fun. Difficult to get Bedard. The Hawks absolutely suck. Fantilli, the Russian kid. Clay, if you were a medieval knight, you would be a golden knight. I'll take it. The Avs may not be the best team in the West, but I doubt they'll roll over. No, of course, no one's going to roll over and quit against the Canucks. Why would you? We will be Russian-like if Canucks got Fantilli. We will be Russian-like Canucks if we got Fantilli. I don't even know. What am I missing? That we'll be Russian-like Canucks. Oh, Russian-like. No, I don't even know what that means. Would be up to meet up for fans before a game or during periods. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Edmund, usually, yes. I love meeting fans, but not when I'm in the suite. I find, and especially because I'm with Mike, I find that when I'm in the suite or an encore, it just takes a lot of time to get out of there. It's much easier when I'm in 319 or in 115 to pop out to the concourse. So I doubt I'll be doing that tomorrow, Edmund, just because I'll be walking in with Mike. We got to go straight to our suite, get a good seat, and then go from there. So I doubt that I'll be doing it tomorrow, but I will look at opportunities to do so for my next games for sure. Yeah, I heard, Glenn, that I've heard certain reporters, I think they definitely talked about a rink wide, that the book on Martin is to shoot high for sure. His name's Colin Delia, not Colin. And would I start Delia tomorrow against Colorado? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. We played Delia against Edmonton, actually. Give them a different look. Yeah, who did we play? Yeah, I could see Delia playing tomorrow. And then Martin playing against Winnipeg, because remember what happened last time Delia played against Winnipeg. Yeah, the goalie for Team Canada, Coquitlam native, a bit undersized, great speed and footwork. Yeah, it's tricky because a lot of these undersized guys, I'm not sure, see edits, that they truly get a fair shot. So he's undrafted. Yeah, goalie's a really tough position to come into undrafted. And we've seen that a lot of goalies that play well at the World Juniors, that doesn't necessarily translate to really good NHL success. I don't know, 50-50 maybe, but he's certainly turning some heads for sure. Justin's working, okay? I'll try and, if I ever get out of that suite, I'll come find you. Which coach do you think will coach the Canucks next season? Good question. I wanted Paul Maurice, but he's coaching already, so I don't know. I know Trotz doesn't want to coach. Is it he doesn't want to coach here, or he doesn't want to coach just yet? I don't know, Harry. I don't know. Would I consider shutting down Demko? Well, only if they really want to increase their chances of getting Bedard, but I don't know if Demko would want that, to be honest. Yeah, Wall's game was really good. How much of a chance would you give to Czechia? Well, I wouldn't say they're the favorites, but they have the confidence of beating Canada. So 60-40. I think Canada's playing stronger heading into the final, but Czechia is one up on them. So it's not, I don't think it's 50-50. I still think Canada's the favorite, but it's not lopsided. Hogs is 4-5. Pods is 10-14. Love the progression. It's good. Yes, it's good. And of course, AHL competition is not the same as NHL competition. Timu rocking those threads, indeed. I know you're a Penguins on Caps guy, Justin. Your child's success is a reflection of how great a father he had. Thank you, Bronson. I think the way Gail and I parent does manifest itself in many ways in all three of our children. But I will say bowling is not one of those ways. But thank you. I think the way he treats other competitors, the way he handles adversity, I think you can chalk that up to Gail and me, but certainly not the bowling talent itself. Oh, that's cool, Peter. Yeah, John likes you a lot. Stars, Kraken, and Ghost Pirates jersey. Aha. Czechs are going to be scrappy, but I think Canada is really coming together now as a team. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do the hosts at Rogers get mad when you bang on the glass? No, I don't think they do. You're allowed to. I don't think you want to do it the whole game because you're going to annoy people around you. But no, I've never seen them tell people to sit down. I think that's wise. Luke, you do whatever you want. But where's the next bowling national? Well, the nationals are right now. That's what they're doing in Montreal. I think you're asking where's the next World Championships? It will be in Peru. It will be in Peru. I don't know the date yet, though. Canucks playing their black skate jerseys. They were wearing their blacks again. I don't know. And usually they announce it prior so they can build some hype and get people to get money out of their wallet to buy. So I as much as I love it, I'm not sure if we're going to see that tomorrow. Casual bowler. I'm wondering what key skill takes a player from a casual bowler to a more competitive bowler. Good question. I think it's the ability to read different oil. There's so many things, release, speed, adjustments, but all those things come into reacting to whatever oil pattern is put out there. And that's one intricacy of bowling that not a lot of people know about is there are different oil patterns that dictate where your ball rolls and where it skids. Canucks win streak has maxed to 3. When do you think the Canucks will win at least 4 in a row? Not in January, Elfren. I think their competition is too tough. Maybe in February. Clay, have you considered getting that jersey with a number on it? Not yet. Not yet, Lucas. I haven't really thought about it, but I would be open to it for sure. I think I would likely get... Gosh, who knows who's going to be here long-term anymore? Because I have Horvat, PD, Besser, Hughes, maybe Demko. I love maybe Kuzmenko, but I don't know how long he's going to be here, quite frankly. Are the Canucks cursed? I don't believe in curses and jinx, but they haven't had a good run, that's for sure. What happens if someone attends your meetup in an Avs jersey? Well, if they do that, high T, I think they're a bit off because they're playing the Jets during my meetup. but maybe that's what you're asking. Then I'd say you missed the game by 3 days. If you're asking what would happen if they wear Jets jersey, I will still interact with them. Monkey Nine Brewing should make a billboard of your sponsor Pepsi. Wouldn't that be sick? That would be sick, but I'll take downtown over Monkey Nine Brewing for that, just from exposure. By the way, as vain as this sounds, anyone at the game last night, did you see it last night? I'm not sure if it's still up. It went up in the middle of November, and they originally told me it was only going to be up for a month, so that would make middle of December. But then I heard that it was up as late as Christmas and Boxing Day, so I'm not sure if it's still up right now. I see a couple of donations that I'll jump to now, and I'll jump back in the chat. Lucas, another $5 donation. Thank you. Choo choo. The Savannah Ghost Pirates ECHL affiliates. Thank you. That makes a lot more sense now. And Carol, a big $20 donation. Choo choo choo. Just want a clarification on Jacob's chances of getting on Team Canada this year. He's in 8th place right now, and how do you think that be able to get closer to the top? Thank you, Carol. He's in 8th place in all men, but he's the 1st place in the juniors. So he'll make the top 4 juniors make Team Canada. So I think that's what you're worried. That's what I want, is I want him to be in the top 4 of the juniors. Wherever that places him in overall men, that is great. A chance to make the men's team. But usually if a junior finishes in the top 4 to 6 to make the men's team, they will bump that junior out so they can bring out another adult man, if that makes sense, knowing that the junior will still be on the junior team and will have many more chances to make the adult team. So all he has to do, Carol, is finish top 4 of the juniors. Thank you for that donation. Okay, I better speed up a little bit. I think I'm about 10 minutes behind. Oh, I meant our roster will be full of Russians and also Swedish players. Americans, few Americans rarely. Yeah, we have a lot of European players for sure. Hey, Eli, love the stream. Thank you. Let's hear your midseason awards. Best offensive forward. That's Petey, just over Horvat, but I think Pettersson. Biggest grinder. Who's been playing a grindy game? I'd say Shen, if it doesn't have to be a forward. Most underrated. That could also be Shen as well. Biggest casualty. Well, Miller, but mostly for off ice, what he says. MVP, that is also PD, but Horvat is very close right there. Yes, the Czechia is plucky for sure. Green Power Ranger. I don't know how to differentiate the colors of these guys. Canucks beat Colorado last time in Denver on an Ethan Bear snipe. They played as a unit and were gutsy. They need to pretend they're playing on the road. Their home games have been Detroit. Yeah, I think they've only won 7 home games. And when they beat Colorado, that was a really nice string. They beat Colorado and Vegas back-to-back, I believe. What do you think the odds are to land Connor Bedard in the draft lotto? It's so hard to say. If you go by the actual odds, right now, the Canucks, if they finish where they finish, whatever 7th or 8th from the bottom is, I guess maybe that's, what is that, 2 or 3%? I'm not sure. Canada is always tough at home and won't be hot dogging like game 1. Yeah, that's a good, honest opinion. The new Vancouver Canucks coach is Dan Price, is coaching the Victoria Royals, and then Bruce Boudreau is going to come coach the Royals. A coach swap. Did you see the 2 disallowed? I know these juniors are so young, but the body language of USA was dejected, and that prevented them from refocusing. Yeah, I don't think the first goal should have been, well, I guess by the letter of the law, the first goal, it was properly disallowed. That's tough to come back from. The second one, I don't think there's an argument because they pushed it from underneath the goalie's pads. A buddy of mine, his dad is a WHA Winnipeg. Oh, that's cool. Jay, are you willing to say the player's name? That's cool. The 7-6 Avs game 5 years ago, Black Skates. I hope it has vibes since our goalies and defense suck. Yeah, that was an exciting game. It was a November game. I remember that. Many things frustrating about JT Miller, but in your opinion, what's the most frustrating thing about him? His carelessness at bad times, behind the back passes, blind passes. I would trade Petey, Bowen Besser, and our first pick for Bedard. That's a lot. That's a big haul. That is a big haul. Clay, any U.S.-based NHL team you have a soft spot for? Yeah, Lightning are my second favorite team. And sorry, Lightning are my third favorite team after Vancouver and Winnipeg, and Colorado is my fourth. How did you get your own billboard of Pepsi, and how did it all start? Harry, I'll give you the very short version because I've explained this in detail before. Basically, Pepsi hired a PR company. PR company called the Canucks, said, get me a super fan. The Canucks provided them me. PR company interviewed me on Zoom. Within 10 minutes, they said, you're our guy. They said, send us some pictures. So I sent them 3 different sets of pictures with Jacob. They picked the one they liked. They put it up on a billboard. And that's really how it happened. Yes, Edmund, Parker's article on Neil Zaman was very good. How long are meetups? Usually 4 hours. We go for the entirety of the game, 2:30, 2 hours and 30, 2 hours and 45. And then some people leave right after the game if they got stuff to do. This one will be interesting because it's an afternoon game. I'm going to do my game over show right after that. And then I'm in no rush. I'm going to be around. So if people want to stay till 5 or 6, heck, we can even go bowling next door if we want. Wouldn't that be crazy? A bunch of us from Canucks fans from the meetup going bowling. I don't know how busy it's going to be on the Sunday afternoon, but I might run over and take a look. So the game part for sure, and then you don't have to stay after that, but some people stay for 3, 4, 4.5 hours. Thanks, David, for being here as always. Which emo family members will be at the meetup? Gail emo, Sean emo, Kayla emo. Only Jacob will not be there because he'll still be in Montreal. Oh, 6%. Thank you, Japan 4. Hey, I see. No problem. Yeah, we always start at 11. How did you miss it? Oh, it's already 11:40. Okay, I'm going to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. I think the odds for Bedard right now are 0. No. Jeff, you can win the lottery from down below for sure. For sure. So it's not like you can only move up 3 spots. I know what. Actually, I might be seeing the wrong thing. That's a good point. NHL. No, you should be able to. NHL lottery rules. Teams will be restricted from moving up more than 10 spots if it wins one large draw. Oh, so you can't move more than 10. And teams cannot win the lottery more than twice in 5 years. Number 2 pick, 3, 4, 5. How many draws? Only 2 draws. So the first place team, if they lose both lotteries, can only drop down to 3. Yeah, so you can move up only a number of 10 spots. Yeah, so teams in 12 spots 12 to 16 can't win, but teams from 1 to 11 can. Sorry, that took me a bit longer than I wanted to look up. Good night, Shannon. Thank you. Demko is mad about the disallowed goals. Okay, I'll have to look on that. That's interesting because he's American, of course. Why would we need to trade for Bedard when we are in the running for last place? Good point. Hey, Jay, nice to see you. Do I think JT Miller is turning the locker room toxic? I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't know that for sure, Bronson. Underrated Kuzmenko? I think he's got a lot of hype, actually, so I wouldn't call him underrated. The Canucks are going to rush Demko back and he's going to get hurt again. Maybe. I hope not. Bowling would be fun. Oh, yeah. Coach Rob, did you find out if you got the day off or not? Are you actually making it over here? Did you hear the locker room of the Canucks shell-shocked how the season is going? Wow. I did not know that. Thoughts on Joshua being the biggest grinder? I think losing Lazard to injury really set us back, but also Demko loss is forcing us to rely on Martin too much. So, yes, I agree. Yeah, even though Demko didn't have a great start, I'm not sure Martin is an everyday number 1. And yeah, I think Joshua could do more, to be honest with you. Cody, I want the Canucks to win 4-2. Last name is Japanese. Jason, he can only answer if he's going to be at the meetup. I know he knows about it. And Marie, I've not invited her fully. What a weird say. I haven't invited Marie yet. I'll talk to her though. Do you think we'll keep Kuzmenko past trade deadline? Not if they're going to completely rebuild, unfortunately. But I can't have both. I want them to because I really like him, but I also know the better move is to move him. I've only done 2 meetups before Harry, and both of them have been night ones. So this is my first afternoon one. You want first or third pick? They always seem to get first overall. I actually had the stream liked, but I had chicken strips from your new air fryer. No, that's important. Air fryers are very good. I agree. Norm Baudin, the original Jet. He played with Bobby Hall and Christian Bordelot. That's pretty cool, Jay. Thank you. Worst call I've seen in a long time. Wow. They aren't teeing unless they move guys out to weaken the roster. People need to realize that. Yes, I agree. They're simply too, it sounds weird, but they're too good to be so bad with at least the guys that are on their roster. I agree with you. Jason saying he'll try and stop by. I think Bedard joining Vancouver will either be pull a Lindros or copies what Tavares did. So get here eventually. Well, that's cool. Japan, I'm going to address this. The whole point of this community is because some people in this community ask questions because they have an honest desire to know the answer, and they would love to hear it from someone here. And maybe someone in here knows it, and it's a way to start a conversation. Yes, anyone could look things up in Google, but it even took me about 30 to 45 seconds to find it out and to articulate it. So I am completely fine if someone asks a question like that, and I'm completely fine if someone wants to answer it. Justin, can we mute the game at the beginning and get a Marie appearance and anthem performance? I will run that by her. For sure. A tombstone from an invisible Undertaker. Yeah, I'm more resilient than most people would think. What's the pricing for food like in Monkey Nine Brewing? This is my first time eating there. So this is so funny. I just said I'm happy to share. I don't know for sure. So this one, Harry, I will tell you to Google. It's kind of funny. That was really funny, actually, when you think about it, when you think about what just happened or transpired in the past 2 minutes. But Harry, actually, just Google Monkey Nine Brewing. I know you can get burgers and salads and stuff for 14, 15, 16 bucks. I get the pasta or the steak dish. I get about $20. So typical. It's it's never been overly pricey. It's always been very reasonable. And even with the price increases that we've seen everywhere because of COVID and inflation, blah, 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 you'll see that Monkey Nine Brewing's cost is very, very reasonable. Yes. Canada game, Canucks game, Canuck Clay live stream. And for me, it's also following Jacob as well. 4-2. We need to play smarter. You're 1-2 in games attended. Oh no, Cody. Oh no. Let's even that out tomorrow. What's my favorite food? I have the steak, or I have the linguine pesto. Yeah, Elder, I might ask this in another stream. I won't do it now because I'm about to get done, but maybe I will. That's a good poll question. How many of us want to lose for Bedard? How many of us want to make the playoffs? I will ask that in a future stream because I think that's a great question. What is your reaction when someone subscribes to the channel? I don't always get alerts, but I do check that number a few times a day. And of course, I smile when it goes up. I was part of a moderator team in Discord, and the fits that Japan is throwing. Yeah, I better be careful what I say here. I think in general, the mods here do a pretty good job generally, but I'm also looking at redoing how I do the mods as well, potentially, and more on that later in the week. See, this is good. I'm fine with stuff like this. I'm the only realistic one that really wants to win. That's fine if Japan feels that. There you go. I know it's really frustrating. I met Sean when I was at Lucky 9. Yes, Harry, that's cool. I'm just trying to see. Give me a sec here. Japan, don't be sorry, Jaskrin. Mostly in these chats, I'm just frustrated. I want to win before I die. I don't think it's going to happen. And you know, I will say this about Japan 4. Not afraid to express himself. And generally, he doesn't. Actually, I'll pause what I was going to say. and I'll rephrase it to a general comment. I think as long as we're talking about our own opinions and not slamming someone else's opinions, that's the way we need to go. That's what I was going to say. Even the hockey guy says that, and I start feeling bad. What's that? What does the hockey guy start saying? Now everything's so disjointed when messages are getting hidden and I don't know what's going on, and then I have to unhide them, which is fine. Jaskin, what is the hockey guy saying? Last 5 minutes, we will wrap up. It is, wow, we're coming on an hour already. Wins feel good, I agree, but I really love to see Bedard come home. And that's a tricky thing. We can't have both. And that's being really, really demonstrated this year. I won't say what I was going to say, but it wasn't that, Jaskrin. Yeah, we won't play the guessing game because that could get pretty tricky pretty quickly. Okay, last 2 or 3 minutes, and then we will wrap up. IC says, what would it take if the Canucks got second or third overall pick and they want to trade up for first? That's a great question. I've heard. No, I guessed either Petey or Hughes, not both, Petey or Hughes, but then 2 other really good pieces, like maybe a first round draft pick and maybe a really good prospect. Some say do whatever it takes to get Bedard, whatever it takes, because he's once in a generation, or at least since McDavid and Matthews, and the fact that he's from here, it's going to be huge for business. So it's going to be tricky. I think what we got to do is we got to figure out who wins the draft lottery first, and then see if teams start to make offers to that team. If the day ever comes, we are going to be one big happy family. I hope so. There's so much arguing over Twitter online and everywhere in general over sides fans want. Yeah, I know. And I want people here. I've always said, I love what people want to express themselves here, but as long as they're talking about themselves, and as soon as it becomes disrespectful to someone else, that's when we have to draw the line. Who will score first? I'm going PD. I know it's easy. If we fell fourth to the draft and Michov is available, do you take him? I still do. I'm pretty sure I'm not even saying his name right. We are a passionate fan base. Carroll is also going with PD. Trading up for first is the most realistic way Canucks can get Bedard. It's sad to say, but they might have to give up a lot for him. And that's the tricky thing is, sure, you give up a lot for him, but then you have him, but does he have a competitive team to play on? And then after his 3-year entry-level contract, you owe him a massive contract, and your team's still not good. So I think it's easy to say, let's get Bedard, but then, or do everything to get Bedard, but you have to think it through what that might look like, though, to what it means to get him. Another Bedard want to pull Lindros. Clay, if Jacob makes Team Canada qualifies for the next World Championships, would we expect to see Clay in Peru? Oh, of course. You know it. And even Gil says, my lovely wife says, well, if he makes it, it's my turn. I said, what do you mean? It's not turns. I can go too. She chose not to go to Sweden. I'm not going to choose not to go to Peru. And it's actually easier for me to get time off than it is for Gail. So let's cross that bridge when we get to it for sure. The hockey guy says, I don't see the Canucks winning my lifetime. I see what you mean. And yeah, I'm not sure. Are Shannon and I the same age? I think he looks a little older than me, but I think we might be around the same age, actually. Yes, Harry, you can certainly invite friends to the meetup. Absolutely. A lot of people bring other people, and that's great. It's how our community grows. Jay Mitchkov. Thank you, Mitchkov. Bedard and the Coyotes would be awful. I think we might get a 30-year-old and washed up Bedard. All right, last few comments. I'm fine with opinions, but when you go at someone personally, that's where it crosses the line. Yes, perfectly said. Bedard, if he gets drafted to Vancouver, he will be a Canuck for life. I hope so. Hockey's a team sport and it takes more than just one guy. He might be a superstar, but we also need supporting guys around him. Look at McDavid. Yes. Pipe dream, bottom 2, but hey, we start weakening roster as soon as possible as far as finishing like there, I said. Yeah, there's a couple abbreviation there that I think I missed. Shannon's over 50. Coach Rob says around 50. Yeah, around 50 could be my age, 48. I'm close to 50. Don't let the Blackhawks win the lottery. There we go. Wow, we went for a good 55 minutes. I try and keep these shows to 35 or 40. Well, you guys can obviously tell it depends on what else I have going on. If I don't have a lot going on, I don't rush off. If I do, like my church hour, I do rush off. I don't know why. I'm going to get up at 4:30 again to follow Jacob's scores. But regardless of my woes and my, my worries, that's you don't have to be concerned with them, but if you want to care for me, and that's fine as well. And I know you guys show care for me by being at these streams consistently every single night. So, moderators, thank you for your good work. Members, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks to all of you. And thanks to everyone who donated. Appreciate some big donations tonight. Elfren, Carol, Lucas, I think those were the big ones. So thanks to all of you. And then anyone who became new subscribers, I'm going to take a quick look. You guys asked me if I check. I do check. And I think we're at the same number. So no new subscribers tonight, but that's okay. I appreciate everyone that took almost an hour out of their night just to be here. And maybe more than an hour if you were here a few minutes early. So tomorrow I'll be at the game with Mike. Don't think I'll be able to come out and say hi, but if that changes, I might post something on my YouTube community board if I'm able to get out, like simply, and I'll do it way before the game, but meet me here at the second intermission. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. But if it happens, I'll make sure you guys know. But don't look for it. Enjoy yourselves. Don't worry about Canuck Clay. Worry about having fun yourself, and then I'll try and get home for a live stream. We'll set it for 11. And if I have to go a few minutes later, I will. And then I get to pick up Sean from the airport, returning from Mexico later on tomorrow night. So I'm excited for that as well. Okay, Fred. Oh, Sienna's got to be up at 5 too. Oh, but you're doing something more redeeming. You're working. I'm just clicking refresh on a computer screen about 2,000 times. Okay, I think we're good. So thanks everyone. On your way out, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. You can continue to leave donations, gift memberships, become a member, upgrade your membership, rate, review if you're on a podcast platform. And thank you to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate, and my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And I heard just a couple of days ago that a huge truck loaded with Vicks Vapor Rub overturned on the highway. Yeah, it was on Highway 99 actually. A huge truck of Vicks Vapor Rub overturned on the highway. But amazingly, there was no congestion for 6 hours. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.